reaction to the market's reaction to Powell yesterday and even a little bit today, Mike?
Yeah, it's great to see the market bounce back. I don't know that I'd call it overdone, but we need to see these inflation month-over-month numbers come down. To touch on what Joe was just saying, the Fed's just starting now, but they've taken a lot of liquidity out of the market. If you look at the 2-year Treasury, we've gone from 20 basis points to 190 just from September to now. Credit spreads on the double B side, so just the first level of junk, have gone from right around 2% to 3%. That's a 50% move. You look at the Chicago Fed, National Financial Conditions Index has been basically cut in half. So a lot of liquidity has come out of the market. So my fear is that inflation doesn't slow, and you got to take a ton more liquidity out of the market. I think Powell, although he only raised yesterday, I think since September, shortly thereafter, well, it was going to be one hike, then two, then three. And then they're out there, well, maybe 50 at the first one, and now we're talking about 7. I think they've done a great job jawboning, even though they've only raised 25 basis points.
So with that in mind, we saw the NASDAQ, for instance, right? It touched the 52-week low. Came back 2.5% back-to-back. In fact, according to a sentiment trader, that's only happened 5 other times in history. 4 of those times marked the bottom. It doesn't sound like you think this is a bottom per se, but is it something we could trade?
Yeah, you gotta sell these rallies. I am, been called a perma bull. Right now, you have to wait and see. I mean, we shouldn't be seeing all-time high producer price index at this point in the cycle if inflation was at any point under control. And if you think about the amount of tightening we've had since September and inflation is still raging, unless we see a dramatic change, you're going to have to take a lot more liquidity out of the market. And if that doesn't cause an outright recession, it's going to cause multiple compression. Well, so even though Microsoft's earnings are up 25%, revenue's up 25%, the stock's still going to get hammered. Does that make sense?
No, I mean, listen, this is your theory. I understand where you're coming from. On the inflation front, Senator Elizabeth Warren, she's got some ideas. She says, let's go after the oil companies, right? She's accusing them of gouging when it comes to gas prices. I want you to take a listen to what she had to say yesterday.
Now that we live in America where there's a lot more concentration in certain industries, look at the oil industry, look at meat industry, look at groceries generally, that what's happened is these companies have said, we'll pass along costs, but while we're at it and everyone's talking about rising costs, let's just add an extra big dollop of cost increases to expand our profits.
So they want windfall profit taxes. I mean, all of this in my mind, Mike, is an excuse to go after corporate America, capitalism. And what they really have a problem with is not oil companies, but the word profits to begin with. But how dangerous is something like this, particularly in this time?
Well, Charles, you have the power structure and the ideology of the left today is borderline communist. And so what do you expect from people like that? And for her to say this is because of the Green New Deal agenda being jammed down everyone's throats. It's literally like me burning down a building, waiting for the fire department to come to put it out and asking the firefighter why he burned the building down. It's insane. Yeah. It's much more her fault that gas prices are where they are than the oil companies. So, I mean, there's a meme out there where the guy shoots the guy on the couch and goes, why did he do this? Right? That's exactly what this is like. And to try to pass us off, I think they know what's coming in November. It's insanity.
It really is. Hey, Mike, thank you very much. Always appreciate it. All right, folks, President Biden getting ready to speak with China's President